Welcome back again with Biblical Talk with Mar. Praise the Elohiym for giving us the victory and causing us to triumph. So, I was going to do the YoBeL chapter 3, but I'm going to actually just backtrack to chapter 1 and then go to chapter 3 because the first one was actually chapter 2, which was the one that actually caught my attention and said, hey, and I thought I should read this where everyone can hear what the Yobel, or aka Jubilee, are. And I'm not sure if all of them would actually happen, but we're going to start today with chapter 1. And it came to pass in the first year of the exodus of the children of Yasharel out of Mitzrayim, in the third month and the 16th day of the month, that Elohim spoke to Moshe, saying, Come up to him on the mount, and he will give him two sapphire stones of the Torah and of the commandment which he has written, that he may teach them. And Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim, and the glory of Yahweh abode on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days. And he called to Moshe on the seventh day out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the glory of Yahweh was like a flaming fire on the top of the mount. And Moshe was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights. And Elohim taught him the earlier and the later history of the division of all the days of the Torah and of the testimony. And he said, Incline your heart to every word which shall speak to him on that mount, and write them in a cipher, in order that their generations may see how he has not forsaken them for all the evil which they have wrought in transgressing the covenant which he established between them for their generations that day on Mount Sinai. And thus it will come to pass, when all these things come upon them, that they will recognize that Elohim is more righteous than they all are in all their judgments and in all their actions, and they will recognize that Elohim has been truly with them. And do you write for yourself all these words which he declares unto them this day? For he knows their rebellion and their stiff neck, before he brings them into the land of which he swore to their fathers, to Abram, and to Yishkak and Yaakov. That's Isaac and Jacob, for those of you who don't know, saying, Unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey. That was verse number 8, chapter 1. And I will read that again, straight through, this time. And do you write for yourself all these words which he declares unto you this day. For he knows their rebellion and their stiff neck, before he brings them into the land of which he swore to their fathers, to Abram and to Yishak and to Yaakov, saying, Unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey. And they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange Elohim, to Elohim which cannot deliver them from out of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them. For they will forget all his commandments, even all that he commanded them, and they will walk after the other nations, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their Elohiym, and these will prove unto them an offense, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. Verse 11. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive, and will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken his ordinances, and his commandments, and the feast of his covenant, and his Shabbatot, and his holy place, which he has sanctified for himself in their midst, and his tabernacle, and his sanctuary, which he has sanctified for himself in the midst of the land, that he should set his name upon it, and that it should dwell there. And they will make to themselves high places, and Asherah poles, and graven images, and they will worship each his own graven image, so as to go astray, and they will sacrifice their children to devils, and to all the works of the error of their heart. And he will send witnesses unto them, that he may witness against them, but they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the Torah, and they will abrogate and change everything as to work evil before his eyes. And he will hide his face from them, and will deliver them into the hand of the other nations for captivity, and for a prey, and for devouring. And he will remove them from the midst of the land, and he will scatter them amongst the other nations. And they will forget all his Torah, and all his commandments, and all his judgments, and will go astray as to new moons, and Shabbat, and feasts, and jubilees, and ordinances. And after this they will turn to him from amongst the other nations with all their heart, and with all their soul, and with all their strength, and he will gather them from amongst the other nations, and they will seek him, so that he shall be found of them, when they seek him with all their heart and with all their soul. And he will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and he will remove them the plant of uprightness, with all his heart and with all his soul. And they shall be for a blessing, and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail. And he will build his sanctuary in the midst, and his tabernacle with them, and he will be their Elohiym, and they shall be his people in truth and righteousness. And he will not forsake them nor fail them, for he is Yahuwah Elohim. And Moshe fell on his face, and prayed and said, O Yahuwah Elohei, do not forsake your people, your inheritance, so that they should wander in the error of their hearts, and do not deliver them into the hands of their nations, the other nations, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against you. Let your mercy, O Yahuwah, be lifted up upon your people, and create in them an upright ruach, and let not the ruach of Belial rule over them, to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them from all the cycles of righteousness, so that they may perish from before your face. That was verse 21. And I'm going to pause there because I know there's probably some questions. I kind of feel like there's some stop. What did you say? So, well, I am using the name of our Father, Yahuwah. It is how it is written and how it was supposed to be. And also the word Ruach is spirit. And Kodesh is holy. Moshe is Moses. His name is actually Moshe. So, yeah, there are some questions, but feel free to study. Grab your pens. You hear a word you're curious about, write it down. Google helps out a lot. So, let me read that last verse again 21. Let your mercy, O Yahuwah, be lifted up upon your people, and create in them an upright Ruach spirit, and let not the Ruach of Belial rule over them to accuse them before you, and to ensnare them from all the cycles of righteousness, so that they may perish from before your face. But they are your people and your inheritance, which you have delivered with your great power from the hands of the Mitzrayim. Create in them a clean heart and a Ruach HaKodesh, Spirit the Holy, and let them not be ensnared in their sins from henceforth until eternity. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, He knows their contrariness, and their thoughts, and their stiff-neckedness, and they will not be obedient till they confess their own sin and the sin of their fathers. And after this they will turn to him in all uprightness, and with all their heart, and with all their soul, and he will circumcise the foreskin of their heart, and the foreskin of the heart of their seed, and he will create in them a Ruach HaKodesh, and he will cleanse them, so that they shall not turn away from him from that day unto eternity. And their souls will cleave to him and to all his commandments, and they will fulfill all commandments, and he will be their father, and they shall be his children. And they shall be called children of the living Elohiym. And every angel and every Ruach shall know, they shall know that these are his children, and that he their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that he loves them. And do not write down for yourself all these words which he declares unto you on this mountain, the first and the last, which shall come to pass in all the division of the days in the Torah, and in the testimony, and in the weeks, and in the YoBeL Jubilees, unto eternity, until he descend and tabernacle with them throughout eternity. So remember the name of the Jubilees, what they say that's the English form. The actual name is YoBeL. So that's the best way to look it up. If you're looking it up, look up YoBeL. If you look up Jubilees, you can still find some information, but if you want to be more accurate, you might want to look up YoBeL. And he said to the angel of presence, verse 28, Write for Moshe from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them for all eternity. And Yahuwah will appear to the eyes of all, and all shall know that he is the Elohiym of Yasharal, Israel, and the father of all the children of Yaakov, Jacob, and the king on Mount Zion for all eternity. And Zion and Yasharalem, Jerusalem, shall be holy. And the angel of the presence who went before the camp of Yasharal took the tables of the divisions of the years from the time of the creation of the Torah and of the testimony of the weeks of the Jubilees, according to the individual years, according to all the number of the Jubilees, according to the individual years, from the day of the new creation, when the heavens and the earth shall be renewed, and all their creation according to the powers of the heaven, and according to all the creation of the earth, until the sanctuary of Yahuwah shall be made in Yasharalem on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries be renewed for healing and for peace and for blessing for all the elect of Yasharal, and that thus it may be from that day and unto all the days of the earth. I have read chapter 1, and Yasharal is Israel. Chapter 1 of the YoBeL Jubilee, aka Jubilee. May you be blessed in your studies and endeavors, and praise our Elohim.